This is the story of my dad and his journey to Canada. It all began when my grandparents sent my dad over to Canada for further studies because they didn't see a chance in him to make it into a Hong Kong university because it was way too competitive and way too hard to get into. In the meanwhile, my grandpa was and worked for a jewelry company, and what he did was he designed jewelry. So he was really good at it, because when he decided to leave, his boss, Mr. Yam, just hesitantly tried to reel him back by granting grandpa his wish of sponsoring my dad over to Canada for further studies. My dad came to Canada in 1981 at age 16 just to finish his high schooling in Toronto. When he arrived, he was granted a student visa, an annual student visa, so that meant he couldn't get any income if he worked. He stayed with a family he hardly knew. It was all strange to him. It was cold, and it was frightening for him. So my dad spent 2 years in high school just to finish grade 12 and grade 13 in Toronto, and he said this: "School in Canada was bittersweet experience. The downside was being a visible minority, poorly equipped with fluent language skill, that inhibited me to socialize with my peers. Teenagers were unrest and immature. So my teenage schoolmates had a hard time to extend their hospitality. As a result, they made racist jokes and behaviors were inevitable. Others lacked sensitivity to confront the discriminative attitude. They kept silence, staring with sympathy." So my dad lived through and survived through high school for 2 years in Ontario, and then he decided to move to Montreal for McGill, but his financial situation was really strict and really limited, and it was really hard for him. And instead of taking the usual university year for a degree, he had to take 3 years instead of 4, just because it was way too expensive for him. So his main goal was to finish his degree as a social worker and just go home. My dad would tell me stories when I was a kid of how he survived Montreal alone. He would tell me what he saw and what he went through. And he said something like this: "My years in university could be categorized by extreme plainness. I ate only cornflake cereal for breakfast and lunch, renting a small and dirty apartment, only feeling beyond my tolerance, and seeking a rooming house costed just a bit more. Yet I have to share bathroom and kitchen facility with veterans. The only positive thing was plenty of practice of my English with lonely men. Despite some negative experiences, I was blessed with opportunity of personal growth incomparable to my teen years. Canada is a beautiful country, and people are generally nice. But when he moved to Quebec, he was once confronted as an alien again because he couldn't speak French, and he remembers one clearly that an old lady would just scowl at him and just scold him for not knowing how to speak French, saying he doesn't belong or he shouldn't be here at all. So that really lowered my father's self-esteem, but that didn't stop him from studying in McGill. Meanwhile, things at home were getting pretty crazy. There was a lingering fear of communists hanging over Hong Kong, so many people were just worried for their lives, and they were just booking it to Canada just for a better life. Not just Canada, really. North America, Australia, Europe, anywhere not Hong Kong or China. So that's what they did. So in the meantime, after my dad graduated from McGill, he decided to take a trip back to Toronto just to say hi and bye to the relatives and friends that supported him all those years. And just as he was about to leave, his parents explained to him that they wanted to move over to Canada as well because of the communist threats in Hong Kong. So disappointedly, my father had to stay over in Montreal for a little bit longer, 6 years, just to complete all those immigration forms for each individual family member. And though it was a huge hassle, it was painful, it was backbreaking, to him it was all worth it. And everything that he's gone through, he's so thankful of God each and every day because he has taken that extra step. So when it comes to me, I believe that my life would have been completely different if it wasn't for my father's adventure. And I'm more than proud to call him my dad because I'm blessed to have this ability to embark on the similar adventure like he did. And turns out it's been one of the greatest changes of my life.